All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to leave up holiday decorations year-round. Others have the need to use their garage as practice space for their new metal band. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BWB, this is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word, let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in, this on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rule. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
We got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
This is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, and that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Hey, folks. Welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd, and we have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just here ready to talk about another interesting week in the world of pro wrestling and beyond. Man, been thinking about this show all week as I was watching, various things in pro wrestling and seeing the news. Enjoyed Collision a lot over the weekend. I don't know if it's going to necessarily make the show too much. There is something that I did not have written that we kind of do need to talk about, which I guess we got privy to in the last hour or so. This Tam Nakano thing, with the loser leave town or the career threatening match or something like that.
I mean, I heard about it earlier in the day, but I haven't really gotten into it or thought, because it's just neither one of them are leaving. Like, it's like, what are we doing? Like, I mean,
maybe TKO maybe TKO wants to run back Tam and Julia.
Yeah, something tells me they absolutely do not. Like, can you imagine? Yeah, we're now keep in mind, Tam turns 37 in a month, next month, right? They're gonna bring a 37-year-old to run a 37-year-old Japanese woman to do NXT. Okay, sure.
Y'all know the motion that Julia got in that building. Say this is who I want. Go get her. We're going to do it.
If she had that kind of budget, she would get Tekla signed by now.
I guess we'll kick that to later. Yeah. But man, I guess we should open up with The Rock coming back in New Orleans with Cody Rhodes and, quite frankly, a very bizarre segment, a funny segment.
Oh my God.
I don't know if I necessarily have an original thought, but I didn't hear anybody else say it in those words that I did, because people seem to be almost, how could you say this? Like what my analysis was of it. And I haven't tweeted it or anything, but
this was a mind fuck. This segment that Rock did. It was a meandering mindfuck, and at the same time, it was still like highly entertaining and interesting. And at the same time, it's interesting. You're like, oh, so you're doing the same shit that WWE's been doing for the last like 27 years, right? Like there's an evil overlord that wants to rule the championship. Like, oh, how original! They did this shit in 98. Like, right? But, all right. So, Rich, where do you want to start with this, man?
Okay,
you want to go through the whole thing, or you just want to just give initial thoughts on it? It's up to you. Because I watched it one time, so I don't have the mind like
I have a detailed deal of it or whatever.
Okay.
But
let's go through it. Let's go through
Let's see if I can open it in this thing and still keep. Actually, I'm going to open it in a different window.
Okay.
Make sure I don't lose the video in the OBS here.
Okay, because man, that thing was a mind fuck. Like yeah. I have a segment I can compare it to, and I remember the words you said about that particular segment, and that thing is so much more cohesive and put together than that one was the other night. And the funny part is, I like both of them still. I like this segment because it was like, this is what the fuck is going on? Do y'all know what the fuck is going on? Oh, it was great. It was a great night.
So, The Rock made his ring entrance, and he's making his ring entrance to Lil Wayne. The block is hot. Right. The crowd thinks he got Def Rebelled. People on Twitter be like, The Rock has they have no idea what he's playing. And almost, the song is old as hell.
I didn't see the response to it. All I heard was the block is hot, and I was happy. So I don't, I didn't see the response. But if that had been a response, I would have been like, God damn it. It did come out in 99. It did come out in 99. This was before Lil Wayne was a platinum rapper. Fair enough. Whatever else. It's also my favorite Manny Fresh beats of all time. So, that it holds a special place in my heart. And then I end up messing the group like The Rock is hot, like the block is hot, The Rock is hot. I'm like, what the hell is he doing right here with this? Like, all the time you talk about like The Rock kind of keeps his blackness at arm's length. And like, this is one of the blackest things this nigga's ever done. He comes.
Yes, like there are nation domination segments that ain't this black.
Right.
Like there, like. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, and then there was in the post thing, they asked him about it.
Yep.
And I heard him kind of bring up the Superdome. Nigga, if they bring Lil Wayne out there next year,
he's one dreadlock.
I'll be like, y'all niggas is wave riders. Like,
hey, I'm okay with it.
Look, that conversation gonna be dead and gone by then. So all of a sudden, we're gonna be left with Lil Wayne here, and it's gonna be like,
Rich, it don't matter because
he's gonna get a chance to prove that he should have got the Super Bowl, but he not going.
Right, but this is the thing, Rich. He was at WrestleMania this year to bring out the Yeet Man, and he performed the Millie, right? So for me, I'm fine with it because it's a whole other year of what do you call it? Degeneration, man. Like, and he gonna come out there. And he ain't gonna remember nothing. He gonna remember half the words to whatever he play. And people gonna be like, remember when y'all was on that bullshit? Okay.
It's gonna be real funny.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's not like we didn't see the Louisiana thing from earlier in the last year either. We saw that.
Yep.
Don't stop. Yeah.
He's doing all this when he comes out. Joe Tessitore sounds like he's a hostage as he's saying this is the most electrifying man in all of entertainment. And the announcers are real subdued. Rock then gets in the ring, salutes the crowd. Rocky chant. Music faded out. He laughed and said, don't you feel it? And he said he got chills up and down his body, for the final boss, to get his bird and fly to New Orleans get inside his bird and fly to New Orleans on a Friday. He's dropping some big news, and he got bleeped. Got another Rocky chant here. He said, let's get this show on the road. Struck his pose. He told the fans, hold on a second, I'm doing it. The fans laughed. He then led. So he was like in Dwayne Johnson mode. TKO executive here. He said, finally, The Rock has come back to New Orleans. He announced that WrestleMania's come back to New Orleans in 2026, April 11th and 12th. Graphic appeared on the big screen. Pyro. Fans chanted, holy shit. He started singing When the Saints Go Marching In. Mm-hmm. Said this isn't sing along with the final boss. He snaps at him at this point, just on a dime. Told him to shut up and let the final boss sing the song. Some people booed, but Rock said they can boo all they want. He went back to singing. Fans saying anyway. He said they were good and it was an amazing duet. Then he shifted into heel mode, and he calls the fans the largest collection of STD having trailer park trash he's ever seen. The fans booed from there. He said dropping the WrestleMania news wasn't the only great gift he was dropping. He said he was there to call someone out. He said he respects and admires this person. That man is our WWE champion. That man is the one and only Cody Rhodes. Cody came out, and there's bizarre energy around all of this. From there, yes. Cody got in the ring, got a big pop. And The Rock said, you have to feel good. He said they love him. Cody said to the crowd, I love you too. Rock said since WrestleMania last year, he and Cody have actually become good friends. Cody then kind of laughed. The fans booed. The Rock said the last time they were on a show together was Raw on Netflix. He laid flowers by his feet and told everybody that he carried the company like an incredible champion. I said it and I meant it. Cody said he appreciated it. Rock said they went in the back.
Rich, do you see what I'm doing?
2 hours together. I did, yes.
Do you see what I'm doing? Do you know what I'm doing right now?
Are you jumping rope?
I'm The Rock and I'm jumping rope with kayfabe. I'm playing with this fucking thing. I'm just like a boxer, just warming up.
It just don't matter.
It don't matter. I'm babyface. I'm heel. It don't matter. Him and MJF going to pro wrestling hell over the next week. Both of them.
He said, we chopped it up. We had a blast. Then he told Cody he's a great champion. He knows that. They texted over the months. Their moms have become good friends. They showed photos of Mama Rhodes and Mama Rock after last year's WrestleMania. He said he wanted Cody to know a few things. He said he wanted Cody to understand that he's on the board of TKO and TKO owns WWE. Somebody booed. He turned around and said, don't boo that. Like, almost like he was out of character. Like, it was weird. Ari Emanuel, who just became a billionaire, he said Rock's good friend Ari Emanuel owns everything. He said Ari told him he owns WWE. Rock said he doesn't own it, but he's the most powerful. Cody said Rock said he wants Cody to be something that's more than a great champion. I want you to be my champion. He said Cody at that point was perplexed. He said, I certainly didn't expect you and I to become friends or the moms to become friends. Cody said, I didn't have that on my bingo card. He said The Rock should know that he's their champion, essentially casting himself as the new people's champion, which is absurd as he wears a suit. But I guess, this is where we are. Cody chants broke out. Rock said that Cody's the people's champion and this is their universe and they were born into this business. Rock said he knows Cody's goal is to bring as much joy as possible to people around the world. He then asked him how many millions of social media followers he had. Then he said The Rock has 500 million, which is a flagrant lie, but whatever. He said that's not a flex. He said, Rock's
also
higher
a blatant lie.
Yeah, but he wants Cody to get up to his level. He said he can open possibilities for him that he didn't know existed. He said if he becomes a champion, every dream he ever had can come true. He came to do Moana 2 and he appreciated it. He said he can make his babies come true when they're in the clouds, when they're dead. He said they're lucky boys who have it all. They're both mama's boys and girl dads. Then all of a sudden, he snapped out of character and threatened to slap the syphilis off somebody's face in the crowd. He said he was trying to have a moment. He said the one thing he's never had that he wants more than anything is a brother. He said Cody can be that for him. From there, Rock goes on. It says last year his goal was to face his cousin Roman Reigns for the title. When he came back, he talked. So this is more just abusing kayfabe about to happen. He talked to Triple H and Nick Khan, both his friends. He wanted him to talk to Cody and tell him to step aside because it was best for business. Rock said, "What did you do?" And then he got bleeped. He said, and you looked at him like, "Fuck that," essentially. He said, Cody said he wouldn't do it, and you stood up to me. He also slapped him in front of the world, and no one does that and gets away with it. I guess we're not supposed to remember the part where Cody got out the ring and basically said, "I will not fight you at WrestleMania." We're not bringing that up. He basically said he then touches Cody's chest.
No. Says, I will not fight Roman at WrestleMania. That was before. The slap happened after.
Yeah. He Rock didn't mention the WrestleMania part at all. Like so. It's all been retconned. But he touched Cody's chest and said that he should become be his champion. And he pitched him to make his dreams come true. He said he did not want Cody to answer him tonight. He should think about it and go home and talk to his wife.
Key important part. He says, no, I don't want this while touching the belt. He's like,
oh, we getting there.
Okay.
Yeah. He said he'll talk to his wife and he'll meet him at Toronto at Elimination Chamber and he can give his answer then. Cody looked very stressed and disheveled and he tried to process all this. The Rock thanked the crowd, said they've been a hot ass crowd. Before he leaves, he said he wants Cody to know more than anything else in the world. He wants that. And then it looked like he pointed at the WWE title belt. Cody said, this championship, my belt, this is what this is all about. And Rock said, no, my brother, I don't want that. I want your soul. And
then
Cody
he put his palm on his cheek and caressed Cody's cheek. It was a good evil touch for somebody that was going all over the place with what his motivations and what his temperament was throughout the night. Do you have more, or are we done? Or do we now get to it?
That's pretty much. Cody looked like he was looking at a ghost. Pretty much at that point.
He was like, "Did this nigga just caress my face in front of thousands of people and millions of people watching? What the fuck is going on?" That's what that face was. He's like, "What is this, nigga?" Like, I've been in blood feuds, right? I've bled buckets in AEW, New Japan, NWA. All across this country, in WWE, I've never had a nigga caress my face. That's weird.
Right. And then he said, the chat saying, then he kissed Cody's ear.
Is that true, or are they making shit? I don't recall.
I don't know. I don't know if they.
Y'all about to be like that, and then he started tongue fucking that man's ear. Like I didn't see none of that. You need to stop. Y'all need to stop. I need to cut the shit. I'm like 99% sure. All right, that 1% makes me know you full of shit, Brookhaven. Brookhaven trying to start shit on a clip.
So, when I saw this, James, I was convinced that one thing happened here. The Rock gave Cody Rhodes the pre-Diddy Party Diddy speech.
Okay, I had a different take on what do you call it? Evil corrupting from the top down. I was thinking more like Elon Musk saying, you can be my president. I thought it felt more like that. Now if you want to envision The Rock with baby oil, then I don't think it's too much of a stretch.
It ain't. I'm about to say, it ain't really, he's always sheened up when he's out there.
Like I said, exactly.
He caressed him on the face. He was like I feel like if you just substitute a couple words, he's like, yo, I don't want your belt. I want your soul. Your soul could be, I want your ass. Like it really could be. Like
we making jokes really on this. This is really joking on. I was trying to move aside, but going to.
It really could be. Like I felt like he was telling Cody, I want you to be mine out here. That's like what's that song? That Baby Be Mine? This was like, I'm telling you, if we had Tonal Talk on here reviewing this segment, they would be sharing my sentiments here. I don't know if they go to the Diddy example, but they would definitely feel the energy that I was talking about. This was weird, and this was like, I thought it was just it kind of lines up with a lot of the Rock segments since he's been back. They are chaotic. They are he's clearly doing what he wants.
Yeah. There is no what do you call it? Narrative overhead or oversight. He just you go out there, you get as much time as you want, go ahead and do your thing.
And then like he'll retcon it like from his phone if he has to.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's gonna happen from here, but it was just like, all right, does he want to wrestle Cody? Does he want to have someone else? Like, because presumably there's an Elimination Chamber match that somebody's going to win to pick Cody. Is there someone that wants to actually be the Rock's champion? Is there, will Cody, maybe Cody does want to be his champion, but who then someone's got to get fucked. Who's going to get fucked? Here.
Okay. And then hold on. You can't go from talking about all them Diddy jokes talking about and then use the term someone's going to get fucked. Like I need a separation of the jokes into the actual analysis of what's going on between The Rock, Cody, and inside of WWE. You gotta leave that door when you talk about someone getting fucked. Is that am I being unfair?
So I'll just change it to screwed then. How about that? Like, someone is going to get jobbed out of their position. But I look at this company, right? And then I'm seeing the critical reception around it. This feels like the time that they're going to try to turn one of these people heel. Like that is circling in this axis. All these over baby faces. It's wide open. Whoever wants to be the top heel or whatever. But this is very risky, I think. Just because you got this many over baby faces, I feel like the temptation is too strong for them to say no to turn somebody. I don't think they should turn anybody, but they are kind of falling into, I think, WWE fans feeling things are kind of samey. So it feels like the writing's on the wall right now. Like someone's turning. I just don't know who it is. It could be CM Punk. It could be Cody. It could be Cena even. You know, I don't know.
Cena turning heel for the last few months of his career is not a good idea.
That sounds wild, right?
That is not a good idea. All right, so
and there's like Roman Reigns that's around too.
Yeah. So when he first said it, my initial thought was, okay, well, all right, Cody's a champion. If the plan was so many years ago, Roman versus Rock, and Rock has deemed himself that he can't do this match anymore, what match do you do to involve Rock? You should just do Cody and Roman, and you have Rock in one of their corners. But you've already done Cody and Roman with Rock in Roman's corner, and ultimately all of this really is to get Roman the belt as the babyface. There happened to be a Cody to drop the belt off to turn so he can be a babyface, but ultimately, like, if there was no Cody, it never came from AEW, and then Roman would eventually have just turned babyface in the middle of this run and been their ace babyface at the time. That's what I felt like, because they had no plan for someone to actually succeed him. So you just have Cody turn heel, and you have Roman chase him, and then you have Rock be the mystery man character. He's Mr. Dwayne, and then Cody is the corporate champion. That's what, and then you can do like, see, he wore the Homelander stuff for 5 years. It finally paid off. He's finally actually a heel, as opposed to this you can shoot, the Cena world of you can boo and cheer who you want to bullshit. So yeah, man, like I think that's where we're headed, and I think that's a good story. It's a story that we've seen a lot in WWE over the last 20, in most of our lifetime, because that's a story that has since 1998. That was the authority. That was all that.
It's almost like Elimination Chamber is like this inconvenience now, because they have everyone announce like they're going to switch someone out at the last minute. Like, what's the deal here? Like, because I mean, you could do Cody and Roman again, right? But you've got the Elimination Chamber in a way, and if somebody's winning the Elimination Chamber to fight Cody,
no.
Who is it? Is it Cena?
No, Rich. No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to do it at WrestleMania 41. This for 42.
42.
This for 42. Okay. Yeah. Like Rock comes out, like Rock ain't coming out here to announce this in New Orleans for him not to be involved in the one in New Orleans. Right? Like 40, whatever they do at 41 is whatever. They'll figure that out, and hopefully it's in service of whatever they plan to get to 42. But I think the long-term plan is like, it's Rock versus Roman, and if Rock can't fight the fight himself, it's going to be a proxy for him, and the proxy is going to be the corporate champ.
Where does Seth Rollins fit in all this?
That would be fucking hilarious.
Because
Rock buried the shit out of that man in the build last year in that tag match. Remember that?
Hey man,
he was like, "Who?" It's like Cody's. Rock was like, "Cody's the guy," and Seth is just some other guy that just happens to spill a space to do this tag match. That's the way he buried Seth Rollins under the fucking Earth's mantle during the promos on Twitter last year. For him to then become that one, like, yeah, man, you might as well pull up a cup chair, Seth. You ain't never getting your nuts back.
I don't really ever want to see Cody versus The Rock, and I find it funny that if Rock pinned him last year and never gave it back, I would find that funny.
I would want to see the match because if they did that match, like I still think nothing tells me that Cody would beat Rock, and they would just Rock would be the go home champion. He'd be worse than Brock Lesnar was with that fucking belt. You wanted a defense at SummerSlam? No. You wanted a defense at Royal Rumble? No. You will get the next offense will be a 365 days from now WrestleMania 42.
Yeah. What did you make of him saying that these characters don't have to pay whatever off in a match? I'm like, well, if y'all not gonna ever have a match, then what the fuck is this? Look,
is that a press conference?
Yeah, it was. And I was like, if y'all want to keep saying this, right, then I'm gonna believe them. Like, I'm not gonna rage against the machine on how dumb I think that is and everything. Then I'm like, well, you're not talking about pro wrestling then. If it doesn't end up in a match, you're talking about something else. Well,
I think you can get payoffs for certain things in wrestling that don't involve matches, particularly non-wrestlers, right? So if Rock is a non-wrestler, I think that's what he means. But in general, that is absolutely fucking insane. That is something that is wrong, except for exceptions, not the rule.
Like Bobby Heenan versus Hulk Hogan, shit like that.
Right, Jim Cornette put up on the scaffolding to fall off and break his fucking leg, stuff like that, right? Yeah, like, nah. Most of pro wrestling is for people, like, there is a MacGuffin, there is a thing, there is vengeance, and it is to be, rectified via the wrestling match. Or the fight backstage or whatever else. Or not backstage, but like caught on camera that is effectively a wrestling match, but is unsanctioned, whatever the fuck. Yeah. Otherwise, that's like saying a soap opera has no payoffs. Why the fuck are you watching a soap opera with no payoffs?
Right. It would just be foolish.
Right. The villain did something that got over on somebody, and it's been a big secret in town, and 3 people know the secret, and then it never gets out. Why even do it then? There's no payoff on it. Like, you never watched this, right? You never watched this. Breaking Bad, right? For multiple years of that show, there was a poison that they had Walter White and the two main characters had access to. And for multiple seasons, we were like, how are they gonna, when is this shoe gonna drop where someone gets poisoned and dies based off this substance? It didn't get used for years until the final episode. Because why the fuck would you put it into the show unless it was gonna be used to kill somebody at some point?
Right.
Like, you putting, The Wire, you putting bodies into Vegas, someone has to find the bodies into Vegas.
Correct.
That's how it works. Otherwise, what's the point of putting in the fucking show?
Another one with The Wire. Cheese being a fuck nigga forever, and then they blow that man's head off the last episode.
Yeah. Why do I have to suffer all of this stuff with Cheese unless he's going, unless the satisfying paying off, he's getting fucking blown away? Yes.
Yeah. It's I don't know, man.
Do you ever follow the wiki and find out, like, or you ever thought about, like, that he's actually Randy's dad,
the father, and it's just never mentioned?
Shoot him again. Shoot it. Well, that father was probably cremated. Shoot his urn.
Yeah. Bow. But overall thoughts on the segment. I thought it was just kind of seemed like a chapter 1 for something. Yeah. I don't think it was great or anything, but it was something. Like, it
was interesting and bad.
Yeah. It was just like, all right. Like, it just feels like, I don't know. It feels like they should have this stuff kind of rolling a little bit faster than they do, but,
given they're not really on WrestleMania schedule. I mean, it's nothing about it. Like, WrestleMania is not this year, is a few weeks later than it normally is. It's not the first weekend of April. Yeah. It's like the 20th and 19th or whatever. So they're further away than you think.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great
compared
point.
to the normal calendar which makes me think there had to be look, who knows what the hell Vegas held them over to for them to have to like hold them dates off 2 more weeks than they wanted to, or 3 more weeks than they wanted to.
Yeah. But you know, I think people, I don't know necessarily how happy your WWE fans are to see The Rock here, but I've.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know how necessarily happy they are to see him kind of do this stuff or whatever, but it seems like, for lack of like it, since nothing else is really popping off yet, when we're kind of in between these weeks where we're trying to see, all right, what are the matches? This instantly becomes the most interesting thing.
Yeah. Because really, the only match we really have right now is Gunther versus Jay.
And they're like doing all the angles for that now, so you know what that means. By the time that shit gets closer, they're going to take the gas off of that shit.
Yeah. I mean, and given, you know, as you just mentioned, like that just tells me like they have an answer elimination chamber. Like everything was circling around really elimination chamber. Like we you know, we put all the big stars in Royal Rumble. We had a guy that sells a bunch of merch but isn't one of the big stars in our you know, thought process. Win it. We still gonna go with all the big stars in the chamber, and Rock shows up, and you're gonna have Cody and Rock, or have Cody give Rock an answer at Elimination Chamber. They put all their baskets in, or they put most of their baskets into Elimination Chamber, which is smart. You got to still give it relevance. And Rock showed up. If you know, it seems like a plan of, all right, we don't know what Rock's decision is on if he was in or out, so we'll just delay all this shit that we can, as far as we can, until Rock gives a decision one or the other. And either way, this is still a smart thing to do to get people to give a fuck about Elimination Chamber. So Rock showed up, great. Now we have 2 things that people that can really care about a lot when it comes to Elimination Chamber on the road to WrestleMania. Great. It worked out for us. We did this, we instead of just, you know, doing nonsense. So I'm okay with it. And man, like, it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see where this is going to go. I think that's the only part that's, and I think that's the only part that's really interesting. Is like, because there's so many ways it can go wrong. So many ways it can go wrong. And like, if this goes right, then like Rock can probably start like dropping in anytime he wants to every WrestleMania season until he gets tired of it. But if it goes wrong, like if it goes wrong, he'd be like, all right, bro, we had this, you know, the fan outrage had to kind of save y'all last year, and now Rock is just dipping his toe in every year. We kind of get sick of this shit. You know, Rock shows up every blue moon, so every time he shows up, he gets the pop goes off like God has arrived to the stadium or the arena. So, you know, but only that can only save you so many times.
Well, eventually you gotta get in the ring too. So
I mean,
and if he can't get in the ring,
I don't think for them, I don't think for their fan base they care about that. But I think that Rock is, you know, if he ain't got it, like if you don't have a plan for this could backfire in his face in a way he never expected. Like I think WWE fans, like they like their storylines in a way. And I don't mean like, you know, they tell stories. I mean like they like the directions a lot of this stuff is going in, like the interesting matchups for what could be for WrestleMania. If Rock kind of helps blow some of this stuff up, they're going to resent him, you know? Like, cause all that stuff's at play Elimination Chamber, and like something's gonna, whatever they had planned, there's definitely was contingencies in place for if Rock decided the Rock shoe dropped. So if this part of it is less than, you know, what the people that watch week to week were hoping for, potentially with some of these matchups, it could lead to resentment. I mean, we've seen it before with the part-timers. And we talking about a person that's a part-time manager now at this point, seemingly. Potentially. So, you better be careful with this.
So, someone else that was working as a manager previously, Ricky Starks, now goes by Ricky Saints. and he's signed his contract in NXT. I believe he is going to be working a program with Wes Lee amongst I'm not sure who else, but man, James, Ricky Saints. So let me get this right. He sat out or was benched for 13 months, 12 months, pretty much. Appearance in GCW, Defy. That's really it, right? And I was led to believe that a main eventer was being dropped the ball with, someone that should have been pushed as a top star of the company, that just the nonstop discourse for this guy. So I would think he would easily walk into the main roster. I would think he would. I would think he would easily go into, like, at least Pentagon got to go into the main roster. Jay Cargill got to go to the main roster. Ethan Page even got to keep his name. So like he got multiple strikes against him. It was like, you're going to NXT, you're taking your name, and now you're working with like someone who may not be with the company in 6 months. Just based on how they do this stuff. I see this and I'm like, if you were somebody that was thinking Ricky Starks is about to get this massive push off the rip, and I don't think WWE sees him like that, and they are telling you where they see him.
Well, of course not. Like, well, of course not, because one, like, if you look at, you say, all right, where are the black talent in WWE getting pushed and actually getting like utilized on television? It is NXT. I don't find it. Well, I find it rather ironic that like they moved to CW, which used to be UPN, and now all of a sudden like black people galore is all over the show. That kind of tracks with what the history of UPN, that going back to UPN's roots, right? Like Moesha and the Parkers and shit, right?
Who built this channel?
So anyway, so for me, oh shit, Wayne's Bros. Yeah. The Wayne's Bros. Yes. The OG. So, yeah, all jokes aside, when it comes to that, like, I never thought that they saw him in that light, and WWE would see him in that light, because it's WWE. Even if it's Triple H who ran NXT and had smaller guys, whatever, it was like, this is a guy that is in his mid-30s and is not big and doesn't have a killer physique and isn't a killer wrestler, but is super charismatic and is a great promo. And is a good wrestler. How good? I'm just going to leave it at good and leave it there. So yeah, I think that there is value. When I mentioned the comment about him, I think it was a week or two ago, about like him in wrestling. Like, yeah, he adds value to any roster. I think they see his value as is like, yeah, he could be an NXT champion. What the fuck does that mean anymore?
Exactly.
Right?
Like they made Trick Williams the NXT champion, and are they going to do something with Trick?
No. And
look, the dirty secret is like Trick can't really wrestle
unless he's in there with Ilya Dragunov, who's fucking incredible.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like that's something, man. Like, and let me wrong, doesn't mean like just because that's where you come in and that's where it ends. Like, look at LA Knight. LA Knight came in and his role was exactly what Ricky Starks or Ricky Saints is, right? Come in, be a veteran guy with a bunch of charisma, have programs with guys, and then he outworked and changed people's minds, right? Like, he's one of the reasons I mean, you like WWE at this point because of how good he was.
Him and Ethan Page, they're setting up as well. I remember that match in AEW, and it really wasn't too much to write home. I think it was that tournament final that got bumped because I think one of them was hurt. Actually, it might have been Starks that was hurt, and they had to bump it to TV the next week before the MJF thing. I don't know, man. I think it's something to take note of. Like, be like, all right, man. Like this is like the level they see these guys at, or is this just to juke the stats for the PC for their investors? Some people have said, you know, I don't know, man. I think there's obviously like I feel like he would offer something to the main roster.
I would
almost
too.
by default.
Yeah. A brown face, yes.
Yeah.
So I thought that like he was NXT, he was gonna go straight to NXT. I never thought they were gonna put him on the main roster. I just didn't, because like it.
Cody ain't got it like this. Yeah, all Cody's boys getting left in NXT. Shawn Spears, Pillman Jr., Ricky Saints. Jay got through though. I wonder what happened there.
Oh, I mean, she looks like $1 million. Those guys in WWE's eyes, those other people don't. It's pretty simple. I mean, and also it's not like they have Jade on TV of late. She's still dead from a whodunit from months ago. So, so my question for you.
All right, one question, James. Better than, all right, how do I want to ask this question? Do you think there is a better than 0% chance that Jade Cargill is never seen on WWE again?
She's been with the company for what, a year, or Royal Rumble last year, right?
Yes.
I think she'll be back at some point. Will we ever get explanation from them that's satisfactory? No.
I'm going to put a 5% chance that we will not see her anymore.
Okay.
5% I'll put on it.
Okay. So, because I feel like given what they've done with Naomi and Bianca, they have to have a write out or whatever, explain like where, show back up, what the fuck happened, who done it, like actually explain who done it, not just we're moving on to Cincinnati. My question for you: Does the name change actually matter?
Yes, because it's stupid. Like it starts.
Okay. It's unnecessary. I wouldn't say stupid. It's unnecessary. But if
it's kind of stupid too. Like,
my question for you is this, right? If I put two names on the table, you did not know these wrestlers, or let's say you want a wrestler name. Will you rather be Ricky Starks or Ricky Saint? Or Ricky Saints? I think it's kind of.
I don't know.
I think it's a push. This is not getting Gunther. Gunther was like, why?
The only thing is well, there's that, and then there's unfortunately, we do know who Ricky Starks is. So we knew we can't just too.
All these people are.
Yeah, so it's it's weird because they haven't been taking people's names of late. They let Julia keep her name. They didn't rename her yet. They let Roxanne Perez keep her name.
Well, she was Roxy.
No. Never mind. They gave her a new name. Sorry.
Yeah.
Stephanie Vicur.
Yep.
So if Stephanie Vicur can keep her name, but Ricky Saints cannot, I just I'm not necessarily arguing for him to keep Starks, but I'm just well, how does this work? What are the qualifications here? I'm confused.
It's arbitrary. It seems like.
Yeah. Penta, I guess, is a different name because they never just
Penta's had $1 million different names revolving around Pentagon anyway, right? He has had Pentagon Junior, he's had Pentagon Dark, he's had Penta L0M, he's had a bunch of those. So for him it's different, or for him it's he's one of the dudes who's
hey, pick one of them, nigga.
Yeah. Well, him is okay, fine, whatever. He's already been through that before with having his name changed. When you hear the nickname Penta, you already know who he is. And they actually got the one where everyone knows it, Penta.
So Zeki Mike is saying he wasn't big enough for him to keep his name. I'm gonna say it again.
But neither
then
was
how
Julia.
Neither
To
was
American
Stephanie
fans,
Vickers.
no.
Right. Neither was Stephanie Vickers. Like,
Right.
so it's like
It's
arbitrary.
so it's like it's totally arbitrary.
Yeah.
They wake up on one side of the bed and ask you to change your name, and a week later they'll ask someone. They won't ask another person shit. They'll be like, "Cool, just come through."
Yeah. Interesting. So, people are saying Ricky Saints is, the next big star. Is going to be, it's going to be a long road for him. Wish your brother well. Hopefully he figures it out. And so when I look at it for him, right, it's not only you're jumping to WWE, you're like going to now work in the Performance Center. So it ain't like he got a main roster contract, and then he has to also deal with like the coaches and shit who are gonna be like having this man do drills and shit just to fuck with him. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the Performance Center just to evaluate people. And
by evaluate, you mean fuck with.
Correct. Like,
so I think some of that has died down, seeing that Vince is gone, but Vinceism is still going to be there.
Yeah. So, like, they want to. They don't use the drills as like, oh, can you do this or whatever. It's like, are you receptive to this? Like, are you easy to work with? Like, these are the things that they're evaluating you on, and then it's like, if you're struggling with it, if you are,
and then they wonder why the wrestlers have
non-receptive,
and then they wonder why the wrestlers have no instincts. The ones that don't have experience or anywhere else. It's like you just tell them what to do without them thinking as a pro wrestler. And then you tell them and trick them into thinking like this isn't pro wrestling. You're doing sports entertainment as if it's something fucking different. Like it's the same thing except slower. Get the fuck out of my face.
Zach Porter, enjoy speed, Ricky. Damn. Yeah. But all right. Let's move it on. Hangman Page and MJF. So we have had a few interactions with these guys over the past few weeks. It was an excellent brawl between them last week. They have basically been running into each other kind of in the back. MJF like actually came to play. He it was funny because Heyman was basically saying, "Hey man, that's the best you got," and then MJF had to actually dig in his bag, and we got good MJF a few weeks in a row. What do you think before we get to the face to face here? What do you think of these of the brawl that they did, and the different promos leading up to this one?
I thought the one from the 2 weeks ago's Dynamite was great with them backstage. The match with before MJF has his match with Dustin match, and then he goes to attack Dustin, and they're in Austin, Texas, and then you have the brawl or whatever else and pull apart. I thought that was all excellent. I thought MJF was like, this is the stuff that like. This is why he's frustrating, because it's like he's clearly talented and he goes into hackery because of whatever. He finds it to be easy. He finds it to be more common denominator, low hanging fruit. He finds it that works the dumbest of people in the dumbest people that watch this stuff. I don't know. It moves them more, so he goes with that. I don't know, but I thought that this was, I thought it was excellent. Like, hey man, this ain't really you. And it also like. This also after, I think a week or two ago, I was telling you about like the Daniels thing about like, yeah, man, like Hangman's not built for this. And then he literally said like, yeah, you're not built for this. I see, like you might be fooling yourself. You ain't fooling me. I'm an actual vermin. You're not. You're trying to live like a low life to prove something you're not. So yeah, I thought it was really well done.
So that brought us to this week. He came out to open the show. They brought out Hangman with him. Extra security around the ring. Fans immediately make a choice. They start chanting cowboy shit. MJF called the fans poor. He got started from there. He brought up how Adam Page screwed him out of winning the first ever Casino Battle Royal in 2019. I appreciate the lore.
I don't remember that at all. So
that forced him to scratch and claw his way up from the bottom of the roster. Adam Page said he knows who, and he basically ended up saying
by
some
screwing
shit
over Cody in a match against Jericho. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, buddy.
He basically was saying he's got the microphone and a scarf or whatever.
Yeah, he said you were given everything. It was almost like the Karrion Kross Adam Cole promo, where it's like you get the girl, you get the entrance, whatever it was. All you gotta do is ring the bell for me. He was like, all they gave me was a scarf and a microphone. I was like, they also gave you a few of the top babyface in the company. It's in the time, you fucking liar. Like,
yes. But never mind that. Page said he knows who MJF is and what he's done. Now, these guys have scarcely actually faced off with each other and kind of lived in intersecting or parallel worlds that have not intersected.
Yeah,
but
thank God.
But it's almost like they do pay attention and they clearly know who each other are, and the fans have already made this connection between them just being on the opposite side, and them not playing it like it's nice to meet you, Hangman Page. Like, them not doing that is refreshing.
No, but the thing was, MJF was trying to do that, and then Adam Page was like, "Can you cut the bullshit and just get to the shit already?" Which I appreciate, because like we don't need the pretense of you've been around, circling around each other and blah blah blah. It's like, we work at the same company for 5 years, we wrestle the same people, we fucked over the same people. Yeah, we're familiar. Like, we watch our TV shows. Like, we're not Kenny Omega or Brock Lesnar.
MJF then chastised the fans.
You know, he should say, be like, remember when you accused me of possibly being the devil last year or 15 months ago? Yes, we're familiar, asshole. Knock it off.
MJF then chastised the fans for deciding that Hangman Page should be the main character in AEW. He said, after all, Page has done a lot of crazy and violent things in this company. He runs down every single thing that he's done, from screwing his friends to burning down people's houses, and every single one of them got more cheers. And the fans cheered every successive one. Then he talked about how Hangman ended CD's career. That caused Hangman to explode, basically about how much Daniels gave to the pro wrestling business, Fallen Angel chants. He really dug deep into this, talking about he's 100 times a man MJF would ever be. Then he asked MJF what people were going to say about him if his career ended tonight. I think that actually kind of stuck with MJF. From there, Page said he worked for everything he's gotten in the pro wrestling business. He's lied about 100 times over the past 5 years, but he never lied to the fans. On the other hand, MJF would tell everyone that he was better than them, and he knows it. Page then said, for once, he hopes if MJF is wondering if that's really true, because deep down he knows it isn't. MJF said, "Get the fuck out of here," basically. He was like, "What
are you, 5?" He said some shit like, "You're a child."
Yeah. He's like, the history books don't give a damn about how you get the job done, whether he won things fair and square, and basically did like a child's voice. He said Hangman Page was a golden boy in 2019 when AEW started. MJF was not. All he needed was a scarf and a microphone. MJF challenged him to name one thing he's better at than him, and then Page just replied, "I am real." And then MJF looked kind of shook. From there, like, he didn't have no answer for that, because we know he's a cartoon character gimmick motherfucker. But this is always the part of MJF that is interesting, where it's like, yeah, man, like, he been putting it on, but like, we know what really bothers you is that they don't love you like that. Like, and
right. Same thing with that's the part that's good with that's a good heel part about MJF. Whenever it's good, it's like he goes up against one of these guys that are, whether it's someone like Ospreay or now Page, and it's like he sees them as contemporaries. He don't get the love like that from the crowd. It also goes into the character of I gave you my heart one time, y'all broke my heart. I'm going to ruin all your favorites. Is the thing he's been on ever since he came back last year. It's a part of that. It's like why do you love them and not me? That's the actual good part of his character. Whenever he whenever he gives you something beyond your sports team suck, you're poor, I'm rich, I'm better than you. No, like, that part is the vulnerability of like, all I want y'all to do is love me, but and y'all did love me once upon a time with Adam Cole, but like y'all eventually turned on me for that, and I hate y'all, and like y'all like them, and I want you to love me. Like that's the part that's good about this with MJF. So yeah, I really enjoy all this. There was a part at one point where I think Adam Page said something along the lines of like MJF's a coward, which is true, and then talked about like I think he said something along the lines like I've never lied to the fans or whatever else, and I was like. Yeah, there was one part where like you didn't want to run a rematch against the Young Bucks until you fucked them. Like so you can spare me your bullshit too, Adam Page. But yeah, man, this was really well done. There was some parts where I was like, yeah,
there's a little bit more.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, MJF then said Page can be the main character all he wants because he has no problem being the bad guy. Kind of echoing what Swerve said to Ricochet. Kind of.
Yeah. It's almost as if
a little clipping right there, remixing.
No. It's almost as if it's going to all converge at some point.
Maybe. The two had a face-to-face from there. Security got on the apron. Things got heated. And instead of like leaving or getting physical, MJF turned to leave. Then he spit on this nigga, and then it was like, good.
Did you see spit coming?
I didn't. No, I just was like,
I did. Now I saw it. I was like, oh, he's gonna spit on him because that's MJF. He couldn't dick kick him because physicality. He's gonna spit on him, and he did.
And we got security holding Hangman back. MJF taunted him from the stage. Then all of a sudden, Christopher Daniels just appeared after the Page takes out the security. He told him not to listen to MJF, and that was the end of the segment. I thought this was sensational. It took a long time to do, but I think, from guys that were around since 2019, I think they earned it here. I think this was necessary.
I thought this was really good.
Drive this home.
I thought this was really good. But like it's both of them have their points where they're both right. Like MJF doing like and also they've been setting this up because like when Hangman had basically laid out all those geeks, I want to say a couple weeks ago, security geeks or whatever else. I was like, oh okay, he's turning babyface again, but he's still coming out the heel tunnel. Or whatever else, I'll leave that tunnel talk to discuss that. But like, eventually he's gonna come out out the good boy hole, as the tunnel talkers call it, and they're gonna lose their shit. It's like, well,
Trish has been hitting that, and I think this makes a lot of sense. Like, we'll know he's babyface when he does something with like turning around and coming to the ring or whatever. Like, because that seems to be like the his storytelling mechanism right now, because he got the huge reception for that when he turned around, walked in the ring to fuck up Swerve, Daniels. And then he did it again with the Daniels thing, and then like there's gonna be something that basically is like, nah, like I think there's a lot to that.
Yeah, possibly. That could just be his thing that he only has for when he's in bad guy mode, but we'll see. But Brewhaven said no more mustache. Like, nah, the mustache is. I think the look of the mustache or the beard and mustache facial hair is different than it was even like 2 weeks ago. Like, it was like it's thicker now. Like, there's something going on there. Like, I'm not about to get into his. I already done it enough, but I'm not going to go into details of like what he does with his facial hair to commit to his character. But yeah, like this is a heel versus heel feud where there is clearly one heel that's going to get more cheered than the other heel right now. And I think eventually the way this is going, because of the Dangle stuff, because of the Dustin stuff, because of the way he's beating up geeks or whatever else, I think that like this is they're baby facing him right now. Will this be a permanent baby facing? We'll see. I think it'll be a part of a gradual story for him. Now, as far as the MJF stuff, it's going to be a fun match or whatever else. Now the whole part about like the you cheat is like, it's great you pulled that out, Hangman Page, but like, I hate to tell you this, guess what's going to happen in your match? He's going to cheat your match. You're going to win or lose. It is not going to matter whether someone was actually the better guy to you two. It's going to be dependent on who hit who with a fucking ring. It's like every other MJF pay-per-view match. So you pointed it out. You point out don't mean shit. It just means you're like exposing his gimmick. So yeah,
It's funny.
because like if there were ever gonna be a time where they weren't gonna do that, it would have been the Regal shit. And then what happened? Oh, you didn't use it. All right, use my brass knucks. Oh, what the fuck? So it was just the kind of weapon he used, whether or not he cheated, deserved to be the champion. Fuck out of here.
Because the ring is special, because he also talked about how he actually won the ring originally. It was by beating Hangman.
Totally forgot about that. I had no idea that I had totally forgot that he even wrestled before in a singles match.
Yep. So it's like within the first 7 episodes of AEW Dynamite.
All right, we're 5 years in.
Your old or broken phone can let you down. But at Verizon, trade in any old phone from our top brands and get iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence with a new line on My Plan and iPad and Apple Watch Series 10. After all, you don't want your old phone to die on you when you're lost.
Perfect.
Or for your broken phone to glitch at the worst possible time.
Hey, can I get your number?
Trade in your old phone for a brand new iPhone 16 Pro, iPad, and Apple Watch. Visit Verizon.com today. Additional terms apply. Service plan required for Apple Watch and iPad.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to leave up holiday decorations year-round. Others have the need to use their garage as practice space for their new metal band. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.
We had one other thing I want to talk about before we get to Ricochet here. We have Megan Bayne versus Kris Statlander in the James Boyd White Woman review. So this match here, I liked it a lot.
It's a really good match. I don't know why I don't know why I got attached to White Woman all of a sudden, but okay. I know it's all running gag with the viewers, whatever else. I don't appreciate it, and they know I don't appreciate this.
They asked for
I'll tell you, and I'll tell you on air that I the things I want to say in regards to this, but I leave it alone. I leave it alone.
So Megan Bayne and Kris Statlander, these are two grown women in there going at it. There wasn't no soft shit in this match. This was like, yeah, man. I like this part of the division. I hope it ends up getting pushed or whatever. I thought Megan Bayne is, if we were still doing One Nation Radio Awards, she's spending bread on these get ups that she got on. Like all them shits are fly.
Yeah, it looks like she right now. I would put her on like a best dressed candidacy for 2025 right now. Through the two things I've seen her wear so far this year.
Yeah. And from there, it kind of looked like equals.
Sorry.
Yeah. He's losing it. They kind of look like equals throughout this thing. They kind of built this thing up in that gauntlet, and then the attacks, and then they kind of went at it, and then there was an ending with Penelope Ford kind of running in. I wish we could just have just give me one.
This I thought it was fine because to me it appeared like they're clearly going to a rematch.
Yeah,
and this is a way to do it. Like you keep Stat had to lose. How do you protect Stat losing to this person? This new person that we don't even know is going to be over by the end of this match. She got over during the match, which is great. You do this. You have a rematch at some point. I don't know if it's going to be Revolution because they've seen like there's a quota on women's matches on AEW pay-per-views. But if they had an extended match, it would have been fucking awesome, given what they were already doing. And there's clearly chemistry there between both of them. And for once, I felt like aside from the only times wrestling, I can't even say that. When Statlander wrestles Willow, is different. When she wrestles her, she bumps around and whatever else and wrestles like she is, because she was the heel. She wrestles like the heel. She it finds easy ways out. This with Megan Bayne, she wrestled toe to toe with Megan Bayne, and they wrestled they're two big horse wrestlers. And the thing with Stat is kind of not frustrated me. Because she's so talented, because she's wrestling all these small women, she has to be a base for them at times. And it's yeah, but I would like to see her wrestle to her size more. And this is the first time I ever felt through a whole entire match, she wrestled to her size. And it was fun. Because you heard me say this for years with her. So I'm glad I finally be like, thank you. Now, Jamie Hayter, please. Now, Willow, when it's not a heel face dynamic is heavily involved, that I want more of this. So I had a blast no one like this.
I find it the link up of Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne like hilarious for like a few reasons.
I mean, I don't know what they have in common at all aside from their hate for Kris Statlander.
Look, there's Eskimo sisters, I believe. Joey Janela.
Megan Bayne has been involved with Joey Janela? I didn't know that.
I believe they are a thing currently.
Oh, okay. I had no idea.
So, I just found I didn't think of that until recently, and I was like, "That's interesting." Moving on. But
is this like the same thing with like Papoose, where like, okay, you went from Remy Ma to Clarissa Shields, like, oh my, I bet you don't want to smoke my new one.
I guess so.
My answer is probably yeah, you don't.
I guess so. But yeah, Joe Janela, legend in the business. Much him and Tyler Bate, man. Him and Tyler Bate.
I have no comments. I have no comments.
But after that, we got.
There's a bunch of dudes that you can say, yep. A bunch of dudes you can say that about when it comes to this. Like, hey man, we've talked about this before off air. Like, it's an incestuous business, and proximity wins. Proximity wins. It really does.
So, Ricochet, I want to talk about in the segment that he did with Prince Nana. So, last week there was a condensed version of like a 1-minute thing that followed up on the Swerve and Ricochet Atlanta match
backstage with Ricochet and Swerve. Backstage with Swerve and Nana.
Yes, yeah, and then there was a lot of stuff that got cut from the broadcast. It was just in a highlight package. So, what was the answer? Say that shit again. Like, thank you, Prince Nana. Say that shit again, because this was essentially the entire next part of this feud here. Ricochet comes out wearing the Jimmy Rave jacket, these glasses, and just generally like gloating and looking absurd. And he's got like a new kind of spirit about him here. He said he would be angry and bitter if he had to live in Phoenix, but lucky for him, he has a helicopter waiting to take him home right away. He told the fans at home that the boos of the live crowd don't matter because they're booing a winner. Nothing that they do mean anything, and they are talking into a void of nothingness. He then gloated about defeating Swerve and all his recent wins, and
you left out while winners Phoenix and like, yeah, I'm out of here just like Kevin Durant for to be
like Kevin Durant.
That shit,
yes, that was great.
Dying.
That was great.
I did not know that Ricochet followed the NBA.
Look, and the delivery is on point. Like, I think this might be the best promo that he's done in the ring. Like, bro, he was on fire in this segment.
Yes, and the reason why is because he has found a delivery that works for him, and the delivery is he is a dork, and
he can be himself.
And because of look, I don't know how he is personally or whatever else, but what I mean is Kamatani as well. Like, there are people that have their charm as a bad guy or a good guy. Bailey, another example. They're dorks. Not saying there's nothing wrong with being a dork. The thing is, like, when you're in pro wrestling, if you're Ricochet and you wrestle the way he has for all those years, they don't want your persona to be you're a dork. They let him be himself, and it's working now because they be like, you got to be cool, you got to be suave, you got to be, above it. It's like, that's not necessarily him. I don't know if he ever really bought it. I don't think the delivery ever matched up. I don't think his voice matches what they want him to sound like when he delivers certain lines. Now, because of what he's done, all fits now. Like, he tried it in AEW, it failed, he spiraled out, and has made himself a psychopath, of a kind of intimately violent psychopath, especially stuff with Nana, and it's worked. Like, yeah.
He gloated about beating Swerve in his recent wins. He said winners always got something to show for it, and it's evident with him wearing the robe. He said he's going to be a champion in 2025. And I was kind of pumping my fist at this point, like yes, like. From there, Swerve's music hits, and instead of Swerve coming out, Prince Nana comes out by himself. He told Swerve that he came out, or he told Ricochet that he came out there to talk one-on-one. He says him and Ricochet have been beefing up and down the road over the road for the past couple months. He doesn't know where things are going. He does know that Ricochet does have something that doesn't belong to him. Prince Nana says he's been involved in the pro wrestling business for 3 decades, and then basically tells Ricochet the robe that he is wearing, it represents pride, integrity, and those that have been lost. He says anyone that wears the robe has honor and has been bestowed the opportunity to be great, and Ricochet hasn't earned any of those things. From there, Ricochet tells Prince Nana, like, oh, you want to take the robe from me, so take it. Pretty much, like so. Yeah. He's like, you do all this talking, like you can get it, but you got to do something for it,
right? And I think it's been very well done that, like, there have been threats and teases of violence towards Nana, and even maybe a bump or two here or there, but like, and there's been threats of like, I will hurt him, but like, he hasn't put his hands on him in that kind of way yet, where he's beat him. He's actually like flat out just beat up Nana yet. They're saving that at some point, or they're saving that to reserve like the danger of him, because like him next to Swerve or Ricochet next to Swerve don't actually feel necessarily dangerous, and that's kind of the part of like what's made Ricochet kind of spiral out this way is like he's real, he's actually a psychopath. He sees I'm not built for this. So what he's doing is like this is his way of actually trying to like step on the like the mental warfare games that Swerve is ahead of him on as a 1-to-1 by like using Nana.
It's like that's your weakness or whatever. It's like, all right,
like this is the only way I can actually compete with you in this way, and right now it's working very well. I like this.
He mocked him when he didn't do it. He does the aha, and then he leaves with the robe, and he's talking all the shit and selling out. And I thought this was a home run. Like, this was like, this sets up everything. It kind of got Prince Nana's like, I think it got the robe over pretty much as Swerve wearing it over the months kind of has, because people like, they see the robe. I don't know if they necessarily
don't know the lore.
They don't know the importance of it or anything. Right. So I think this went a long way in establishing Prince Nana, even like with the robe, in the event that he's not Swerve's manager anymore or something. Yeah. So like, we'll see where it goes from here. But,
so
I love this.
This was not flat out. I'm saying this to y'all to hear this. This was not better than the exchange between Hangman Page and MJF earlier in the show. I liked the totality of this, every bit of this, 100%. In a way that I did not like. I did not like every single bit of MJF and Page, because they're picking and choosing when to show you glimpses of what's real life and what's stuff's kayfabe. All that stuff that Nana said can be completely tied up in kayfabe. It works. So I really like all of it from those two. I thought for a show that when you get to it and you look at it, it's like, actually, this is a lot of promo. Like, this is one of the shows where it's like the promo stuff and the talking same stuff on this show was so strong that it's like you can actually forgive them when they don't give you, a loaded up show with a bunch of matches.
Yeah, there was a big street fight with Bill and Hobbs in the middle of this show, and man, I thought it was gonna be better.
Yep, same here.
I thought it was gonna be better. I liked it.
I enjoyed it, but I thought it was going to be great based off what the stuff. This was not as good as the stuff they were doing, like the tease this match. It was not.
Yeah, it was like they were doing, like, when I was watching, I was like, yo, they're working this like it's a last man standing match.
And
then it turned out to be. And I was like, Oh, like, and then I was like, I wish I would have known this like ahead of time or whatever.
Because you're expecting someone to get pinned as opposed to they can't get in, as opposed to they're trapped, as opposed to they go through a table that has barbed wire in it. They stick their, after they take their bump, they stick their hand underneath the barbed wire to then pretend like they're stuck and they can't get out the barbed wire. Yeah, I saw you, Big Bill. No, I did not rewind it. I immediately knew what the fuck you were doing. Yes. That takes away from the match.
Yeah, I thought it should have been kind of faster and more explosive. There was a lot of setting stuff up and space between them and kind of just slow. I was like, yo, this close. And like Hobbs has something and it's like I don't know who's working with him. It's like I don't know if there's anybody that can tell him how to be who he is. And it's like there's something there with him, and because like he's got, I think just when you look at it, he does well when you put him out of what his element normally is. Like I remember the match he had with Takesha, and I was like, I thought he held his own in there, and I thought he did a good job and all that. I don't think he's ever going to get looked at as like one of the best workers in this company or anything, or even, you know, to ever be the AEW World Champion or anything, unless he gets like ridiculously over, right? But I think that he has something that is connected with the crowd in terms of him being big and brolic and like intense, and it's like if they can just tap into that and then keep him away from like the agents that are imploring him to sell and slow down, it's like keep everything this guy does action packed, short, and, you know, line up big dudes or whatever for him to lift up and put down.
He can sell, but it needs to be fast selling like it's an actual fight, not wrestling selling.
Right.
Like,
and it's like, there's,
like, for example, right, the perfect person, well, they would never do this because neither one of them need to lose to each other at this point in time, but the perfect person to wrestle right now would be Gabe Kidd.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Speaking of Gabe Kidd,
I saw his match with Butcher, and it's like, yeah, like, I love that match. Like, that's not some great match or even a very, or necessarily you even call it a very good match, but it's like, these guys are hitting each other very hard. They're selling each blow. Like they're slipping and they're smartly slipping behind strikes, whatever else, and then throwing each other around. And then the end of the match is Gabe Kidd beats him. And in the downtime between throws, whatever else, Gabe Kidd is looking to the camera and owning the camera. Yeah, like that. What the point wasn't to have a great match with Butcher. The point was to like let you know that Gabe Kidd is like very, very charismatic.
Yeah,
while also having a fun match, a fun brawl in between. Yeah.
Yeah, and Clark Connor's got a video played over the weekend as well, so it looks like the War Dogs might be in AEW for a little bit. I don't know exactly what's going on.
Just a little bit. Huh?
They had Don Callis watching Gabe Kidd, and man,
and I was like, boy, I was like, well,
nasty, man.
No, not even that. I was like, well, you know what that means. When will he be represented by Barry Bloom? Because it seems like there's familiar pattern on how this goes. Speaking of that, you know what I found out was represented by Barry Bloom today?
Yes.
Hey, man.
Barry
I had a tweet.
Has...
I had a hot tweet for your ass, Rich, and I left it alone. I was going to ask you, but I was going to use the evidence you're going to see, and you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that is kind of the case, right? I was like, huh. I have an anti LeBron clutch Laker fan friend who loves AEW and the Elite, and I was gonna be like, well, I bet he won't say shit about motherfucking Bronny James getting signed on to the fucking Bloom agency. I guarantee that ain't gonna be a thing. I decided not to tweet that shit.
Team.
I was gonna leave it alone. He's like, oh, no. He's like, AEW, you know, the Elite got their clutches in all Elite wrestling. Oh, that's fine. Look, like you fucking hypocrite.
Yes. Look, so
right? No, this is that bullshit. Sorry. So, look, if Bronny, I'd much rather have Bronny on my fucking NBA roster spot than fucking hook on my AEW television. Get the fuck out of here.
You think this is a worthy debate? I feel like this should go to a poll.
Unbelievable.
But
look, I tell you this right now. We cannot send Hook to Ring of Honor and go out there and get me a 4.25 star match, but I damn sure said Bronny down to the G League and go get me 25. We've seen that already.
Yeah.
This is what I need right now. I need Barry Bloom right now to finally prove he's not a fucking elite merchant. I need that man to go out there and shop that man to fucking TNA. Send his ass over there.
I think he has people in WWE. I just don't know who they are. I just don't know who they are.
Right. Okay.
But he he's got Barry Bloom's been doing this since the 90s, man. He's got Goldberg. Yeah.
Oh,
he's got
Goldberg. Okay.
I think he's got AJ Styles too. Yeah. Yeah,
so basically, any white boy that ever wrestled in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So when
National Hall,
Gabe Kidd. So when do we find out that hold on. When do we find out when Dave Finlay is signed to Bloom Agency? When we gonna find out?
That would be disgusting. Well,
look, Finley's actually, he's tightened up over the last, since the G1. So it ain't like, Finley, 2 years ago. It's different.
They showed Don Callis watching Gabe Kidd, and I don't know, man. It's is he going to be brought in? I just think it's amazing that they're actually acknowledging the all-time classic match that happened on January 5th. Now, I think that's really cool, Excalibur, to actually get the message, that we act like it didn't exist for months and months here.
Sometimes
cool to mention that.
Sometimes when you have your own show, you have to pretend like it never happened.
Amazing.
That was their own fucking show, Rich. I will never stop. Every time we bring that up, I will never stop bringing up that point. That was an AEW show. That was a co-AEW show, and they pretended that Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd shit never happened.
Allegedly.
Nonsense.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if Takeshita was already working with Barry Bloom Brahaven. I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Shit, I figured he already was. Barry Bloom, I presumed he was.
Yeah. Beast Move says Barry Bloom is Scott Boris. Then, Barry Bloom's a cool guy.
No, he's Rich Paul in the situation. You got to follow the joke that I was making for like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And his assistant Jordan as Ricochet, and so I think his assistant Jordan is like basically going to be the guy where he's going to have his own clients building up under Barry Bloom. I got Jordan's contact in here. Sure do, right there. So maybe I can get some more information on that. But I think eventually he's going to inherit the Bloom team. I think it will continue, down the same tree, I'd imagine. So we've been
jumping around a bit. Can we talk about since I just shat on Hook? Can we talk about the Ops versus the Patriarchy?
Go right ahead. You want to talk about the fact that they're named the Ops?
I don't care. Whatever. Shibata don't even know what that means.
What to say? Do you think Shibata knows what the fuck?
No. So I was like, whatever, man. Who do I get to kick? The final stretch came down to Nick Wayne versus Hook, and it was like they're really pushing Hook, not Nick Wayne. Are you out of your fucking mind, Tony Khan? And at the end, he goes for the Oz Cutter. He catches him in a trap, into a choke, puts him in the red rum, and then the rest of the Ops keep the rest of the Patriarchy from breaking the pin. He taps out. I was like, yeah, man, like I gotta win a lotto, and I gotta get some of these people to fuck away from some of these bad situations. There is no other wrestling promotion where if Hook wasn't Taz's daddy, where Hook is the guy that is beating Nick Wayne. Are you insane? That's nuts.
I remember on the show, maybe 5 months ago, 6 months ago, we landed on a Hook Nick Wayne discussion somehow,
and we were like, "This is right." I remember it.
Yeah. I was like, bro, he's like 5 years younger than Hook. Like, what the fuck? Like, bro, I saw him get choked out. I was baffled. I was like, we couldn't choke out Kip Sabian. We had to protect Kip Sabian, huh? Okay. So
did you like the part where they pointed out that like during the match they pointed out to Kip Sabian, he doesn't wrestle like the rest of the Brits. And I was like, yeah, he's a lot worse than them too. So that's not a distinction. Actually, like you're right. He's not as good as most of the Brits that have names over here either. So there's that as well.
Now, James, I was reminded by a young lady on Twitter that 3 years ago there was a legendary clip that was uploaded onto twitter.com that came from me. And in that clip, I talked about how people should never count out Chris Jericho. Right on the 3-year anniversary of this, Chris Jericho decides, hey man, Rich, I appreciate the service, spreading the gospel. I'm gonna do you a solid today. It's been a while since you've been able to send this clip out, but I'm getting in the ring with Bandito tonight. And Jericho and Bandito went crazy on that. This crowd, it was full John Morant mode for me. I was stay on that side, like they was trying to please retire chance, and then getting them shits turned around in minutes, or not even minutes, seconds. Like when he does the top row hurricanrana, and then they're trying to cheer and all that. I'm like, nah, don't even do it. And I think these two have great chemistry. Every time they've ever wrestled, it has been awesome.
I was going to ask you, like, do you think this was better than the first match?
I don't think it was better than the first match, but it was like almost as good. Like,
it was close, yeah.
Jericho takes that fucking that moonsault power slam off the top rope again, like he did last time.
Yeah.
21 plex. Bandito shows all his strength, and it's just like when I'm watching Bandito, I'm like, bro, this guy's like I saw someone send a tweet. It was like, this man needs to be the first luchador AEW world champion. I was like, I will cry if that happens. Like, I've loved Bandito for years and years and years and years, and I'm like, I want to see him not get forgotten about or lost in the shuffle. I don't know what it is. He cracked the old man Jericho code like several times at that, and look, this guy's one of the best guys in the world too. So It's like you only hope that he can be. I like what they've done with him. They brought him back with these specialized vignettes that fit with his character and stuff like that. Like I thought that stuff was cool. They were like, "Yo, we'll give you singles matches on TV and stuff like that." They haven't looked like they've pigeonholed him yet. So like they've got a chance with him because like he's gonna have great matches with everybody. So if you just let him, I think they've never count out Chris Jericho. Like sorry, like
I think they've done a relatively good job with the minutes they've had for them, with people like Hologram on Collision, with people like Beast Mortos on Collision, with people like Megan Bayne just came back or whatever else, and people like Bandito coming back from that injury who's gone for over a year. They found pockets for all of them in their pockets. Now I continue with that and how they interact or how they integrate them into the larger tapestry. But I feel like all those four, over the months, especially with Hologram, has been effective. Like, as much as I think this thing shouldn't fucking exist, like that doesn't happen for Bandito or Hologram that way without Collision. Like there is actually like a place for them to go out there and have their matches. And it's also kind of funny because when there was a certain guy that was in control of that, it was buying people from arenas who were, trying to be mentors for Hangman and Page. like, there was a Mexican star they were going to push. And then, like, it went to shit because somebody didn't want to go back to WWE, seemingly didn't want to do business, and now both are going to be in WWE, and neither are going to actually be over whenever the other one does finally show up. So, yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I just think that the way Collision's been used, and also on that Arizona show,
and also with Collision, thank you. Put all them fucking WWE guys over there. Put them all over there, and they do something cool. I'll get to watch it or whatever else after the fact. But if I don't see it, I don't see it. It's outside of the mind. If they do good, I hear about it. If I don't, then it's over there and I didn't have to watch it on my Wednesday show. Great.
It did some cool stuff with like CMLL that aired on Ring of Honor. This crowd was awesome. Arizona's always a good crowd. They're getting a pay-per-view. They're getting Double or Nothing, Glendale, Arizona. And I think they deserve it because every time, going back years in Phoenix, I think they've been awesome. And this was a double taping. Like this was, so they were with Jericho and Bandito all the way at the end of the night here. So, yeah, another solid week of AEW, and it's becoming pretty noticeable. I think more people are waking it up. Like the switch of fortunes these companies have taken in literally like the past 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's basically been like 4 or 5 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Collision looks like the show. They've had better matches. So like if you were to go through like the Collision, like this year of Collision, and you say best 10 matches, and you put it next to Dynamite, yeah, you probably Collision. I mean, especially after the Grand Slam thing, you definitely have to say that. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll leave it there. Just wanted to go over to this next thing. I wanted to talk about the NBA. So, I was wondering, I was like, man, what could I say about the NBA if someone was like, what are 5 things that you like about the NBA right now, or 5 things that you're following, 5 things that, that you like that is going on in the league. The NBA has been taking a beating this week. Some of it's self-imposed, but there's
this week or last week.
This week, last week, any other week. This just it just seems like it's a thing here. So I'll go first. So I think I kind of got to start with the Luka Doncic trade. I think this is very intriguing, regardless of how many people have tried to explain that this shouldn't have happened and all that. I kind of feel like teams should be able to kind of run, their teams like and try to make the best moves they can that they see, even if it feels like
they didn't do that.
Look, the best way they think works for them. That's what I'll say. It's like they think if they think this is the way, we should let them do that. And
if a franchise wants to smoke crack, who's to tell us not to because they pay their rent? All right, sure, fine.
If anytime a 25-year-old franchise player wants to land on a Los Angeles Lakers, doorstep, who am I to turn him away?
I didn't say turn it down, but also be like, hey man, that was really dumb. What are you doing?
So I'm into that. James, what's up? You're into?
Oh, my number one is the Lakers. It's not necessarily the Luka Doncic trade. It's the Reeves Luka LeBron thing. Like, it is better than. Look, I thought it was going to work. People that I don't know why people do this. Like, LeBron's been on like a million different teams, and even within seasons, and they've all been relatively successful because he's the second greatest basketball player of all time at worst. So like, people are like, "How is this going to work?" or whatever else. There's only one ball. It's like. So he's playing with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and there was only one ball, and that was successful. He's played with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love, and there's only one ball that was successful. I think people think like LeBron James only played one way of basketball, and it's like that denies like the part where like if you go to his 07 finals run and watch how he played against the Pistons, and then you watch how he played in like 2018, they look nothing fucking like. So for me, it was like, yeah, I think I said on the show, it's like they're gonna work together perfectly, because it's like they're two of the greatest playmakers and passers in the history of the sport, and like they now have more space than they ever had before, and like they can then feed off each other, because like there's only you barely ever have one person that can make it tough for one of them. You never have a team that has two people that can guard them, and because of like coaching and plays or whatever else, they'll be able to create mismatch everywhere, and they'll be a great offensive team. And I thought like the only thing that's going to stop them is obviously lack of size in defense because of LeBron's age and Luka's not being a defensive player. And so far, they've been better offense than I even thought they were going to be. Like, Reeves, people thought that Reeves shit was a fluke. And me and you all came to the same conclusion, like, yo, he's actually a legitimate NBA player. He's actually fucking good. And like, he keeps getting better.
That Lakers scouting department strikes again.
And he keeps getting better, right? So, like, for me...
Find these undervalued assets, James.
Right. So for me, those three, plus whatever, shooter they put out, whether it's Smith or whatever else, like, they are going to be a monster offensively, especially like as Luka like rounds into like being able to play more. They're going to be like a fantastic watch, because like it quite honestly feels like LeBron has like a new lease on life. Like, the last time I felt like he felt rejuvenated this way was like that one year when the year they made the last Cleveland year was like the Isaiah Thomas trade happened, like, and he's out here with a bum knee, and like LeBron's kind of like his numbers look fine or whatever else, but like you can kind of tell like he ain't too enthusiastic, and all of a sudden you find out like about a week before that trade happens, when they get those new guys like Larry Nance or whatever else, like he found out a trade was coming, all of a sudden he starts like playing, he cranks it up, like him. Like, open court LeBron is back in a way that, like, we hadn't really seen that in the last couple years or whatever, or pretty much as Westbrook, because it's like, well, Westbrook is a good half-court passer, find the obvious guy, but he's not like a throw someone open person necessarily. And Luka is it's kind of like the Kevin Love stuff. It's kind of like the, Wade stuff in a way too. Is like finding LeBron for easy buckets and let him just run the open floor in a way that like LeBron kind of always wanted to do with another guy having the ball, but like it was Kyrie. So Kyrie's not like built to be that kind of point guard. He's a scorer first, and like he always wanted another person to take this responsibility, and that's why the Westbrook trade happened. But like he never found the right person. And he was like, all right, end of the game. I don't have to be the person that control everything, because this person can do it and I can figure out other stuff. Now it's like, all right, I got that person and I can just run the open floor and set screens and sit in the corner at times or whatever else.
There's no Anthony Davis in the way?
I wouldn't say Anthony Davis in the way. I would say like there's an extra shooters, more spacing. Like the Anthony Davis that we saw in 2020, like that was Anthony Davis I thought we were going to get for the rest of his career, and ultimately, like, nah, he just went back to being, he became a worse shooter than he ever was before. Like, it makes no sense. Like, he was developing a 3-point shot, got the 3-point shot on fire in 2020, and then, like, he proceeded to, like, regress in a way to, like, what happened? It'd be like if Blake Griffin, remember Blake Griffin when his first few years? Like, it's like, he had no jumper outside of 12 feet, and all of a sudden, like, he gets to Detroit, and all of a sudden, like, he starts shooting threes. It's like, oh, he just went back to, like, he can't make a basket outside the paint. It's like, it was weird what happened with his shooting ability.
I feel like he just caught fire in an open gym tournament for a couple weeks.
No.
But went back to normal.
No. It didn't go back to normal. It got worse. I'm talking about even like his last couple years with, like, Cousins and Rondo, he was a way better shooter, 3-point shooter, seemingly, than he had been, like, post the bubble. Like, he just completely regressed. And so, yeah, man, like, it was just weird, like, watching that, like, just the part where it's, like, non-shooter big, which is still, he's still a great player even with that, because he's such an incredible finisher, but it's, like, paired with the Westbrook part, with him being on the floor, and he's a non-commodity as a spacer. And, like, their offense is always so just They never had easy buckets. They just never got easy buckets. And now they get easy buckets and open shots, and it's like, this is what having LeBron James and two quality shooters or / no, non-space on the floor have always been. And then like, it was weird, like the Westbrook years was like, we finally got something that wasn't that for the first time since like 2000, or before we ever went to space and pace. So like before, like he was ever Miami Heat. Like, we went back to like the 2010 offense with LeBron, and he's older now, so he can't get to the rim and finish like he used to. It's like, everything looks hard. I used to watch these Lakers games in the last few years, but like everything looks hard for them, except for like, especially in the Westbrook time. Now it's like, everything looks easy now. It looks, and LeBron looks like he's loving life. He looks super happy. So I'm enjoying that. And they put the beat down on the Nuggets. Like, obviously that's one game, but like, we'll see like this next couple weeks. Their schedule is actually like, they play a bunch of teams now the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fun to see like how
that's what I'm kind of waiting to see.
Yeah. It's a fun watch. I don't think they can win a title as a fun watch. And then like, if they can find the right piece next year, can they be actual title contender if they can find a big worth a damn?
It's funny you bring up Russell Westbrook, because the next thing for me was, how long can Russell Westbrook survive in this league? It seems like he's the man with 9 lives. You always think his career is ending or whatever, but he just finds a way to hang on one more year. A league that largely like has legislated his play style out of it. He's a short guard who can't shoot, who is an open court wizard kind of, but he's playing in half court a lot. And he's kind of found a way to play with Nikola Jokic, because who can't play with Nikola Jokic?
Well, I mean, they've also made concessions around like that style to make it work. Like Aaron Gordon is now a 3-point shooter. Like they just pulled that out the fly. Like, remember when Bosh all of a sudden came back from that injury in the playoffs and all of a sudden he just shoot 3-point shooter? Like, all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we can't really space with Westbrook out there. Oh, Aaron, you go out to the corner now. You knock down wide open threes. Like, that's how they've made that's their concessions around making the Westbrook thing work.
Yeah. So, just a guy I've always liked, and how long can he hold on? Can he steal a championship before his career ends?
He should get props for the part where like the Murray thing was really where their season's gonna went down to shit once Murray got hurt, and he, like we always talk about, like he, since 2020, like he had slow starts to the year, and it looked bad at the beginning, and then he turned up like everything. We need to start betting on this. I wonder if you could like take advantage of like, all right, we're gonna bet the unders on this nigga Westbrook every year until Christmas, and then we'll start betting the overs once he gets to Christmas.
Take off.
Yeah. So yeah, like that's he should be commended for that.
Something else for you?
So for me, Karl Anthony Towns, like. I've had this joke saved for a while, but it's like when that trade happened, I know a lot of people were like, yeah, that's like a even trade. I was like, nah, man, like the shooting the shooting in shot blocking he creates is like something that Randall just doesn't have. And I was like, it's not necessarily like, yes, I think the Knicks got better. I don't think they're a contender because I think the Celtics are just loaded. But, like, the main thing is, like, I think the Timberwolves are done, and they look kind of done. The thing for me was, like, I did not know or appreciate, like, how much, like, the city was going to take to him, and, like, because I thought, like, that's a place where if it goes wrong, they're going to eat him alive or whatever else. And it hasn't happened, at least not yet. But one thing I should have known was, like,
he's a local.
I didn't know he was local. But I was going to say this, like, I now feel foolish. It's like, why in the world did I think that a Dominican wasn't going to flourish in New York City? I thought he was going to do well. I didn't think he was going to be like, yeah, leading vote getter and shit for the front court. Like, I don't want to spend that. Yeah, so yeah, man, I've enjoyed that. And like, he's up there in rebounds, and it's, his whole career, people like Bomani gave him shit for not, being quote unquote soft. Is like, that wasn't his role. His role was space the floor for Rudy Gobert and the rest of that team. Is like, nah, now he's here. It's like, nah, he actually can do these things. It's just that wasn't his role on that particular team. His role's different. Like, and people change. Like, I think people appreciate that kind of thing. That like people got to play roles on certain teams and just kind of just say what you have, and what you don't have. So yeah, I really enjoyed him on the Knicks. I don't think they can win a title, but I like the Knicks being a good team.
That's kind of gonna be playing to one of my other ones, but I said, who's gonna be the last man standing between Curry, LeBron, and Durant? Like, what order are these dominoes gonna fall in? Like, you would think LeBron's gonna retire first, but who knows? Like, Durant seems to just be getting passed like a blunt. Kind of, it's an open secret. Like, he's gonna get traded again this summer, and it's like, nigga, like, find a home, please, like. And then Curry is like, could he like, just be like, you know what? I'm good. I'll just play out my contract and then I'm going home. I don't know. Like who basically is meeting the end of the road or their maker first? Will they all go out together? Will it be, will these guys ever face off in the playoffs anymore? What meetings look like between them? We saw there's the Court of Gold documentary, the Netflix one. I watched 4 episodes.
I haven't watched it yet. I don't need to. What do you think? It's
really good.
Okay,
it's really good so far.
Okay.
Like, and I like it because it's like, it doesn't seem like it was like, and this is not necessarily like a clutch shot. It doesn't seem like this was a LeBron-led documentary. It doesn't seem like it was a documentary that focused on any particular one player. It was like, it showed us the French team, it showed us the Canadian team for an episode, it showed us like our team, it showed us like all the guys, and it was kind of like the main character is like the global basketball scene, and it's like it pretty much to like, and Durant's on there, I think probably in some of the best light that I think he's been shown in, where he's literally like crying, basically talking about how much he loves basketball and what it did to save his life and everything like that. And I think this is something the league really should be kind of like pushing. Like, you're looking for victories right now, I think, if you're the NBA, and this is a layup. Like, just saying, like, and we got to see LeBron, Durant, and Steph last year in the Olympics. I think that was like a really, I think that was a moment in time. Like, we'll never forget that shit.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like, the Durant thing is like, the thing that people liked about Durant to begin with was that, like, we knew he cared. Like, when he was out here doing, like, early in his career, and they were doing like the horse tournament and shit at All-Star Weekend, and like, I personally, like, my favorite NBA MVP speech ever, like the one you talking about his mom, they end up birthing the video, like birthing that documentary or that movie or whatever. Like, yeah, like, I thought, I think that's what people liked about him, was like, he was somebody that would show you like his emotions and his appreciativeness and all this kind of stuff. And then, like, he goes to Golden State and basically had to become a numb person to deal with them. Some people call him a coward and all this shit. Where it's like, he acts like nothing ever, like he's above all of it. He doesn't care. And it's like, well, you do, because we know you got burners and shit, bro. Like, just be you and stop pretending you're somebody else. To numb the pain of whatever, of you, winning that title and then, like, ultimately feeling. And then he told us this. He said he won that title and then say he didn't feel nothing. It's like, well, look, that's, and he's honest enough to tell us these things or whatever else in the moment. But then when people point out
that would happen.
And then when people, point it out to him, he'll be like, nah, just hooping, whatever else. This ain't just hoop for you. This shit saved your life. You didn't move and go to all the different high schools and all the different academies on other shit in Oak Hill and all that kind of shit just to, because you didn't care. We know you cared. So, for me, that's interesting. It's like, I never saw him as a bad guy, but a lot of people do, because they're fucking LeBron stans. You're on the way of blocking this. It's like, man, shut up. I don't care. I enjoyed watching that team. That's the greatest team I've ever seen assembled in an NBA on an NBA team. I appreciate I was able to see it. Now, all this other shit about your stand wars and him blocking, being able to win other titles, whatever. I don't care. I got to see for 2 years the best battle team I've ever seen assembled. Whatever. So, as far as other things I appreciate of, let's see. Let's see. It's interesting to see the Cavs be worth a damn without LeBron James. It is not the 1980s. I think that's kind of cool.
It feels like it's a better team than like anything that they've had outside the championship year, and even like, you know.
I mean, on paper,
this team,
I still don't.
Like, this team is.
I still
is
don't
built like one of those teams that have like two lineups or whatever, and they go like 10 deep.
Yep,
and shit.
Which means come playoff time, they got too many guys, right? And also I'm still look that Orlando Cleveland series from last year. That shit is still filthy, and I have to see that team person. I have to see Garland come through in a playoff setting, right? And I got to see their offense not like absolute shit in crunch time of playoff series before I actually fully buy those numbers. But the numbers are like James, or every single time, like these numbers don't change. They keep almost shaking me like, James, why are you not paying attention to them? But it's like, I just got to see where they end up or whatever else when it comes to the Celtics. Like, because ultimately, yeah, they'll get past, you know, anybody else in the East, but they got to play the Celtics. And I think the Celtics are going to beat them. But we'll see. I think only 3 teams can win a title. I think OKC and the 2 Eastern teams can win. So I'm itching to see like what it looks like come playoff time.
My next one was historic franchises, kind of with new life and hanging around, you know, championship aspirations. Celtics, Knicks, Lakers, and then like mixing like new franchises that never won shit, like the Thunder, you know, the Magic are rebuilding or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, trying to think. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And Warriors, you know, at this point, you know, with the Jimmy Butler trade, they look reinvigorated. So like seeing like the glamour franchises, like kind of, you know, prove it's like, hey, it was a reason for the glamour, you know, it was a reason for the history or whatever. So the only thing, you know, we can just get these niggas wearing like, you know, the proper historical uniforms to match. You know, I do not want to see yellow when the Lakers go to Boston and shit. Like, I don't want to see that shit, dog. Put the purple on, nigga. Like, put the purple on and y'all niggas put the white on and let's run it. Like, and then when y'all come out, just how they played last time, which I appreciated. The Lakers had the yellow on and the Celtics had the green on. I was like, this is how God intended right here. So, so run it up. God damn it. You know, the Knicks have rarely been good in the time that I've watched the league.
Right.
The days of Jerome James and like Stephon Marbury, old Allen Houston, Penny Hardaway.
Bro. Immature Zach Randolph and Eddie Curry together. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Jared Jeffries in them lineups. You know, and then the mellow years or whatever, and then all the old guys linking up there with Rasheed Wallace, Jason Kidd, and J.R. Smith was on them teams, like the LeBron boys, essentially him and Shumpert. And then it was, you know, it was like the Knicks ain't never really had it. So it's like I was very excited for the Knicks in the playoffs last year. I was like, I just want to see what happens, like see how they react to it and the fans and stuff like that. And it was really cool. But then, you know, Indiana sent them home like normal. But, yeah.
I'm just gonna say it, man. Like, I'm gonna enjoy this OKC team while I still can. So I think they're getting blown up this offseason.
Damn.
And it's the same shit that I think of, because it's like, you know, we all remember 2012 at the end of Game 5 when you have Harden, Durant, and Westbrook together, and we all thought the same shit that we thought, you know, in 95 with Penny and Shaq. Is like, well, they'll get another crack at it, right? That shit ain't guaranteed. Because I'm
actually going to see the Thunder on Friday. I got a ticket for the Hawks versus Thunder.
Yeah. Hey, tell Lou Dort to stop putting his feet under these people. But outside of that, you know, yeah, man, like, this is a team that like they just have athleticism everywhere and like can defend all positions, and like Chet is a unicorn. Shay, he's a person that once the machine gets jammed up, he's gonna get the shots, whatever else. I hope he comes through in the playoffs this time. But like, yeah, man, like this is their bet. Like this is their shot. This is their shot, and I don't think they're gonna get another chance if they fail to do it again. I think they'll blow this team up because they can't pay both Jalen's. So yeah, like I think that like I'm enjoying that team while I still can. I don't get to watch. I haven't seen them much this year, but like but when I have, I've enjoyed watching them just like I enjoyed watching them the last 2 years. And it's like this team ain't gonna be able to sit together. They're gonna come up with some package and some time to trade shit or whatever else to move some shit around and whatever else. And people have made the Cooper Flag stuff, whatever else, of some mother load trade that Bill Simmons cooked up. I ain't buying that shit. My point is like, this team is presently constructed. That nucleus will not be the same going into the 2026 season. It won't. So enjoy while you can because they're a great team. And they should have been able to play together. But we can't allow that, because if we allow that, that means that like the players might decide where they want to play. So we can't even let the fucking teams decide to pay the players to keep them together anymore. We make it so financially unsatisfying. They have ruined the NBA. Like they would have taken a blowtorch to those 80s Celtics in Lakers teams. They absolutely the fuck not. Like James Worthy, not a chance you're a Laker. Norm Nixon, get the fuck out of here. Michael Cooper, not a chance. Go to hell. Michael Thompson, over my dead body, you ever been a Los Angeles Laker. Oh, Bill Walton wants to become a Celtic? Fuck no. Take your asses to the stay in the Clippers or some shit like that. Nah, man. They've ruined this league. We will not see great teams get to stay together, and they did it the right way.
Sad. I'll say the guys that nobody wants to love, that the league doesn't want to love, but the fans are clearly saying they love these guys. Trae Young and LaMelo Ball. They're not going to get the Team USA invites. They getting locked out of all-star teams. They're basically they're getting all the numbers, and it's like, okay, so it ain't the numbers now. And, I think they're wildly entertaining. Just when you look at it from LaMelo's case, at least, I think a lot of people watch the kid grow up and go all over the world. And, I think he's got a lot of fans. And I hopefully, as they take their lumps in these bad organizations, eventually they will harden up essentially and, actually contribute to actually be able to make noise in their career, as winners eventually. But they're going to take their lumps. But I'll love them being entertaining in the process. And I ride with them.
I think this is a part of the talk debate shows and the ring culture thing has made the NBA less fun to watch. You used to be able to just tune in to watch a great player on a bad team just go be great in a losing effort. You say, they lost, but he was awesome. Now we have turned it into this person's on a bad team and completely changed or completely characterized the person as a loser, even though I lost because I'm on an undermanned team. That's how this goes. I'm on a bad organization. And to be honest, we have, what do you call it? We have figured out basketball in a way to where one person's contribution can be nerfed compared to what it used to be 20 years ago, right? If you had someone as good as Anthony Davis if you had a top 10 player in their prime 20 years ago, you were guaranteed a playoff seed if they stay healthy and played 70 games. That ain't the case no more, right? Wembanyama, if he had stayed healthy, they weren't. I mean, where were they?
They were lucky they would be lucky to make the play-in.
Lucky. That's my point. He's a lot closer to 5 than he is to 10. You know what I'm saying? That is how we have we have optimized NBA rosters at this point to where like one person, no matter how special they are, their imprint on the outcome is not nearly as significant as it used to be, even if the players are better, by and large. So that is the thing when it comes to like guys like they get the loser tag, I feel like unfairly Trey. I think Trey should get he's a gunner tag, he's a loser. LaMelo
guy's like downright historic stats for the time he's been in the league. Like, you can name whoever you want. Like, as far as like being a guard, like
for me with LaMelo, and when I've watched him, my issues with him, it shouldn't matter if it shouldn't matter. Like I thought he still was an all-star. The part where he didn't make the team was like, nah, man. Like I get the thing where the votes how they tally up or whatever else. Like, but he should have been a starter at least, or not starter. He should have been on the team at least. Like the part where he just completely out, it made no sense to me. No, like sure if you want to put if you want to put Donovan Mitchell and Jalen Brunson in over him for starters, sure. But off the team, nah. Like, do I want him on Team USA? Not necessarily. But like, this kind of stuff where it's like, whatever the players,
we're gonna be looking around.
Him, they do not want them around. And don't get me wrong, like there was once upon a time when like you had Gilbert Arenas show up. And Gilbert Arenas, Kirk Heinrich over him. That happened, But it's like you need people to play roles or whatever else. I don't think there aren't roles for someone like a LaMelo Ball, someone like Trae Young on an international team, because like you always need shooting, and those guys can.
I was gonna say. Shooting and passing. And I could say, like, it's like the answers aren't going to be Curry, LeBron, and Durant anymore. Like, the way USA basketball is going, like, by 2028, they ain't going to be in a position to just be, telling niggas no. Like, you know what? Stay your ass out of here. When LaMelo Ball, let me see, how old is he right now?
Was he like 23?
I think he's like 23. Hold on. He is 23 years old. So in 2028, when he's 26 and shit, like, nah, we have a certain sense, like, all right, we're gonna fuck around. And
you know what? It's not even necessarily about LaMelo in 2028. It's about like the stuff that has happened with fucking Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's never playing on Team USA again. So like,
I would never show up again if I was him.
If you treat it bad at the top, and don't get me wrong, like people that say Jason Tatum got done wrong, I'm sorry, make a fucking basket in international play. Like you got benched for a reason. He didn't make a single basket in any of the minutes he played in the games. Why he didn't sat down? And you know what they played instead? They put him saying Kevin Durant and LeBron James instead. Tough shit. Sorry. So, but. If that's not the side of him never playing again, I understand it. He's more than welcome to tell them to kiss his ass. He already got his gold medal, right? So, but you have something like that, and it compounds when you get to the LaMelo and Trae stuff potentially. And that's what I mean with it. Like, you are now setting the current for this to be like a potential 0-4 situation. Because we don't know what's actually coming through the pipeline over the next, 2 years just to try to rectify some of these situations that we're going to have post Big Three, Team USA.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I was like, Thunder are in town this week. I was like, I've been wanting to go see Trey since I moved up here, and I just haven't ever made it to a Hawks game. And I'm like, I'm gonna go. So like, I hope Trey drops 50. So
boy, you might watch a lot of free throws in that game. Between Shea and Trey, you might see a lot of free throws. That's true. You just might. And if you do,
I just hope.
I'm gonna keep track of this. I'm gonna keep track of it because if you do, I'm gonna send you a text. You already know I'm gonna be like, I told you I don't like watching them niggas like that on a consistent basis.
I'll say this. They what was I gonna say? I can't even remember what I was going to say, but yeah, I think that can't even remember it. Damn, it slipped my mind that hard. But
it's fine.
Yeah, but that was my last thing. So James.
Oh,
one more thing.
One more
you
thing.
like about the league right now?
I mean, it's that time of year now, right? Like, it's time of year where you're starting to get the closing stretch for playoff seeds and all that kind of stuff. So you're going to see the best basketball of the season. Like, that's the thing that I think is lost in this conversation about how hard the guys try or whatever else, or how they feel they try or whatever on that night basis. It's like, historically, the season has always mattered the most post All-Star game, March and April, when you start seeing like these teams realize that they're going to have to see each other at some point in the playoffs, and they want to have, they want to have home court advantage. They want to have a psychological advantage. They go out there and play basically a playoff level game on national television on Thursday or now Saturday nights or whatever else. And those are the most fun games of the season. Historically watching it, covering it, or, not covering, cover it. Well, we kind of cover, but following the NBA my whole life, like those games. So like we are now at the best part of the season actually. And people are lose sight of that. Like when they're talking about the guys don't care, it's like, save that until like the part where it matters the most for the season actually matters. Like, don't get me wrong, like, even if it was baseball, I say the same thing. Like, bro, you getting charged about how hard these teams are trying in April. No, man, care about that shit in August. That's when it matters the most. So yeah, I don't even know what the slate is for what Thursday is on TNT, but I'll suffer through whatever Kenny and whatever Barkley and Shaq got to say to watch it. But I'm sure it'll be a good one. I'm sure it'll involve the Lakers at some point too. Let me check.
Yeah.
Should that see another thing we're excited for? This is the last year inside the NBA.
Oh, that's gonna be wonderful.
Oh man,
get NBA on NBC back. Oh my god, that's gonna be awesome.
You heard they might be hiring Arenas.
Yes, and they already have Reggie Miller.
Yeah. People hate Reggie Miller on Twitter every time he calls games.
I don't get it. I've always looked Reggie Miller.
But they also hate Weber too. They hate both of them, and I'm like, I don't.
I wonder why. I wonder why. Like Chris Webber is awesome. So is Miller, bro. It's like
I've never had an issue with them, but like on Twitter it's like a negative space. Like everybody sucks. Even Tony Romo fucking like the only person that does suck as a commentator that used to be a player is like Greg Olson. That's it. Like, people don't like Romo now. And Romo was like, he came out and was like, I can't believe this guy was that good to begin with. Like, he's still, nothing's changed. It's just you listen to a commentator say, there's only so many ways you can say things during the game or whatever else. And now it's like, oh, okay, I've grown annoyed and I'm on Twitter and I'm watching, negative feedback loop.
I wonder if NBC is going to bring back Dwayne Wade because, he worked the Olympics.
That would make sense. Okay, so Rich, check this out. TNT on Thursday. Nuggets Bucks, 8 o'clock. 10:30. Timberwolves Lakers. We back, bro. This is the time of the year. You're at that time of the year. So this is gonna be fun.
So I guess we can wrap it up, man.
Yeah, thanks for listening to the show, y'all. If you are watching from the stream, when the show goes up on in the podcast, go to the show notes and go to our Rare Circle link. You can donate there. We also want to plug the Top Tees store for One Nation Radio. You can get the Dream Team on our gear. You can get the Black and Gray on our gear. You can get the other on our gear. All great stuff. And be sure to listen to other shows on the network. Besides One Nation Radio, you have Keepin It Strong Style, All Things Elite, Amps WWE Adventure, Russell Art with Kris Things, AEW Match Guide, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Podcast, the Trish and Sarah Wrestling Show. I keep fucking doing that. And Tunnel Talk. I can't wait to hear what they had to say. I saw a clip. I haven't seen the clip. I can't see what they had to say about, I think they call it thespian theater or theater of the minds or whatever, about Hangman and MJF. I can't wait to see what they have to say, because it's definitely ain't going to be whatever announcement we gave on tonight. Guaranteed. But thanks for listening, y'all. Later.
Peace.
What is... Dax, are you?
Tracking all our cars on Carvana Value Tracker? On all our devices? Yes, Kristen, yes I am.
Well, I've been looking for my phone for...
In Dax's domain, we see all. So we always know what our cars are worth.
All of them?
All of them. Value surge, trucks up 3.9%.
That's a great offer.
I know. Sell?
Sell.
Track your car's value with Carvana Value Tracker today.
All you homeowners have unique needs. Some feel the need to leave up holiday decorations year-round. Others have the need to use their garage as practice space for their new metal band. And because each homeowner has unique needs, Geico helps you get the right coverage for your home and what's in it. That way, you get exactly what's right for you, even if your needs are unique. Get more with Geico.